A huge win, a statement win for Arsenal over Manchester City in the Community Shield in Cardiff. It is the Gunners winning by 3-0. It started impressively as they got a goal inside of the first minute of the game through Riccardo Calafiori, then goals from Kai Havertz and Martin Ødegaard as well. A dominant victory and a poor start for Enzo Maresca's reign in Manchester. And guys,
massive mega money signings, but Christos Zolis comes in as an amazing start. Just your thoughts on his game?
Well, what I said last week, that I think he's coming to the team and really organically. He's fitting. He's a really intelligent boy, and he has a massive quality, which is when he's in the last 20, 30 meters, he's so composed to pick people in and around the box or to finish actions, and he's shown that again 2 or 3 times, and he was decisive.
In Manchester. And guys, I think we have to start with what this means from an Arsenal point of view. Yes, it is the Community Shield, but at the same time, we talked about how long it was for Arsenal to win the Premier League, to win one of the major trophies, either that or the Champions League. They do it last season. You could say, oh, maybe that's the end of their chase. It does, with this performance, feel like almost the beginning of a new era of Arsenal.
Look, you can argue long and loud as to how important the Community Shield is. But what you can't argue about is today, Arsenal rocked up and looked ready, and they rolled over Manchester City 3-0, and probably could have had several more as well. So it was a really good day out for the Gunners. Doesn't guarantee silverware in the future by any stretch of the imagination. But, Mikey, you've been a player. Mentally, that's likely to be your nearest rivals this season. They're tipped as second favourites. To put in a performance like that on today certainly does you no harm whatsoever. It gives you a little bit of feel-good factor.
Yeah, look, as a player, especially for a player on the Arsenal side of things, it just gives you that much more of a psychological edge. Remember, there was so much made about how many Arsenal players were going to be at the World Cup and the loss of William Saliba. This Arsenal side, they looked scary good today, Jeff. The sharpness that they had, the depth that they had. You have Bukayo Saka coming off the bench in the second half, and he could have had 2 or 3 goals in himself. But I was really impressed by the new signings, their impact on this game. We'll get to talk about Christos Zolis and his decision-making in the final third. But Bruno Guimaraes, for me, today showed why he will be one of the midfield generals for the Gunners. He pocketed Manchester City's entire midfield. There was a point where if you were blind and you didn't know, or you had no clue about football, and you didn't know who was the £117 million signing, would you think it was Bruno Guimaraes or Elliot Anderson? I would have said Bruno Guimaraes. He made them look like school kids on the day, and you have to give full credit to Miles Lewis-Skelly as well, Jeff, because a lot was made about him in the media, and he turned up again today with another brilliant performance, and the assist was world-class.
Yeah, allegedly offered to other clubs. But with that performance today, that pass within the first 26 seconds of the game, absolutely superb. So, look, best way to change your coach's mind about letting you go is to play well and to lay on a goal as well. But the way they're set up, I thought, was interesting. Those two alongside each other with Ødegaard slightly ahead. You've got Zubimendi and Rice as well. So that central midfield for Arsenal looks rock solid. But as you mentioned, it was the other signing that made a lot of the headlines.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a moment, but you also talked about the idea of what the Community Shield actually means. We actually have what the winners of the Community Shield have gone on to do in the Premier League, and none of them have won it, going all the way back to 2019.
You've burst my bubble.
Yes, massive Arsenal fan over here. One of the second-place finishes after winning the Community Shield in 2023, and in 2021, it went on to finish 8th. So, yeah, this is not necessarily a competition that portends. That being said, though, guys, this is still Arsenal as favourites to win the Premier League this season, and they only further cement their status with what they did to City today.
Yeah, it already looks like there's quite some distance. I know that we still have Premier League matches to come, but just from the aura standpoint that Arsenal put up today, there's quite some distance between Arsenal and everyone else when it comes to challenging them, for the Premier League title. One player that I want to give some love to was Martin Ødegaard today, a player, Jeff, who last season had a lot of scrutiny from Arsenal fans. We know the injury track record. We know sometimes in the final third, he wouldn't take his chances. On the day, he absolutely humiliated Gigi Donnarumma with that goal. He could have walked the ball in. He sat him down, Jeff. I mean, it was insane to see him coming off a brilliant World Cup campaign for the Norwegian side and the national team at the World Cup, leading him to a quarterfinal. This could be a massive season for Martin Ødegaard, and I'm thinking beyond for the Premier League. I'm thinking for Champions League. You need a player like Martin Ødegaard to be firing full tilt and all cylinders, Jeff.
Yeah, I think it was the day where Arsenal clicked. It clicked. Manchester City, for whatever reason, were not at the races today. So the signs of that you have to take from it going forwards. What can happen actually during the season? Don't forget, there's no Saliba today. There's no Jurriën Timber either. So this is not Arsenal at full strength by any stretch of the imagination. So those players have to come back in. But equally, you're easing your way into the season. It's all about context, this game. It was a good run out. It's more than a friendly, but equally, they won't regard this as a major trophy, not by any stretch of the imagination.
As for Christos Solis, who we've mentioned a couple of times, a pair of assists. When you get new signings in, you want to see them hit the ground running early. They can feel that sense of comfort. It was kind of suggested when he was brought in, he was almost like a Trossard replacement. He was going to play some, but maybe not all the time. But performances like this, he might lock down that position down that left wing.
He's the assist king, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
His previous club, 29 assists in 52 games. Those stats are sensational. He's got a great delivery on corners as well. I think he looks like a really good signing, an exciting signing. And I agree with you as well. He's come in under the radar.
Yeah, I think he brings a lot of balance to Arsenal's team as a whole. Last season, the last couple seasons, the jury was out on Arsenal minus set pieces, but when they were in full flowing football, if you could shut down their right-hand side, you see how they build up. Martin Ødegaard shifts to the right-hand side. Bukayo Saka on that right wing. When Jurriën Timber is healthy, on that right wing. Ben White and Bukayo Saka have that chemistry. Now you're seeing a player who's a different profile, in my opinion, than Leandro Trossard. Leandro Trossard, more a goal scorer who wants to get it on the left and go straight at you, shift it to his right, maybe pick the bottom corner or top corner out. Watching Christos Solis, when he gets in, it's very similar where he wants to cut inside, but it's the decision-making and he wants to pick the pass. The goal he had, Jeff, where he picks out Martin Ødegaard, that is just sharpshooter sort of mentality of he puts it right through the lines, right through thread of the needle sort of stuff, and it leads to an exceptional goal from Ødegaard.
I mean, let's not forget, Trossard more than contributed last season. Yeah. He's quite a big loss for Arsenal. So had they brought somebody in who doesn't look like they can at least replace the same level as him, it's a retrograde step. But he's made an excellent start, an absolutely excellent start. He looks dynamic to me as well. I think he's got more pace than Trossard. And also, as we said, it's not just his eye for the pass, but it's his actual delivery. I think set pieces he could be dangerous too.
We've talked about the winners.
Players that weren't involved in the Arsenal matchday squad today, Martinelli and Jesus. Do you expect them to leave the club before the window closes?
It's really sad not to have the ability, and I've been fighting with the Premier League to extend and to accommodate more players in the squad, because it's always tough, because they deserve to be in the squad, there's no question. Ethan as well, Marley as well, that has been the whole preseason with us. So hopefully we can change that rule and players can enjoy on the pitch and being an option to play and contribute to the team as much as possible.
So you still expect them to be part of Arsenal going forward?
Yes, they are all very important for us.
Thank you, Mikel.
Thank you.
Arsenal's dramatic 3-0 victory over Manchester City has been followed by another major talking point, with Mikel Arteta addressing the futures of Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and Ethan Nwaneri. All three players were left out of the matchday squad, immediately leading to questions and speculation among supporters. Arteta's response, however, suggests there is much more to the situation than simply reading into a team selection. Arteta made his feelings clear, insisting that the players deserve to be part of the Arsenal squad. His comments come at a time when competition for places is becoming increasingly intense, with Arsenal building a squad capable of competing for major trophies. The manager's message could therefore be important for fans who were beginning to worry that some of the players might be heading towards the exit. Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus remain major names in Arsenal's squad, while Ethan Nwaneri represents one of the club's most exciting young talents. Their absence from the matchday squad naturally created speculation, especially after Arsenal's impressive performance against Manchester City. But with a long season ahead, Arteta will need every quality player available as the Gunners compete across multiple competitions. The situation surrounding Nwaneri is particularly interesting. The young midfielder has generated enormous excitement among Arsenal supporters, and fans will be hoping that his development continues at the Emirates. Meanwhile, Martinelli and Jesus will be looking to fight for their places as Arteta makes difficult decisions about his starting 11 and squad selection. Arsenal's victory over Manchester City has only increased expectations for the season, and Arteta now has the difficult task of managing a talented squad while keeping his players motivated. Could Martinelli, Jesus, and Nwaneri still play major roles in Arsenal's trophy ambitions? Arteta's latest comments suggest the door remains open, and fans will be watching closely to see what happens next.